And good morning, Candlepin bowling fans. This is Dan Castle. We are here at Ryan's Family Amusements in Millis, Massachusetts, with the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, Class D South, a match between visiting bowler Andy Ivanoskos. I'm going to get it. Visiting our home bowler Steve Venezia. We are going to get started just a moment, and both are newcomers this year to the ACST, so it'll be a joy to see some fresh faces bowling in our league. And with that, welcome guys, and let's rock and roll. So this will be a 5-string match, bowled 5 boxes at a time here on lanes 21 and 22. Despite it being a morning here, and Sunday morning, and here in November of 2025, we have a fair number of open bowlers here, so that's awesome. And Andy's going to start us out on lane 21. First ball coming up. And he put it down the middle. Nice ball, right on the head pin. And he's hoping for that split to break, but it doesn't. So he'll have a bit of a split there, 3-1. And going for the spare attempt. As I recall from my last match that I did with Andy, he's running about an 84 average. I haven't looked up stats yet. It's too early in the morning. And going for the 10. And he'll start off with an 8 box. So, again, to remind everybody in the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour audience, we bowl matches of 5 games in length. We split it in 5-box halves. The bowlers will alternate and then alternate lanes. Andy on his second box. First ball's on the 3. Takes out just a few. I'm going to share this to my page. And goes to the 2-pin. He's got the 1-5-7-10. And hard to get a 10 out of this, but he'll probably be happy with 2 or 3 if he can get it. He's got to hit something, and it's so easy to do that and go through the hole. He's got a 6 for 14 through 2. All right, as we go through this match, the bowlers will be each awarded 2 points for every time they win a game. If we have a split, they'll each get 1 point. 4 points are awarded for the winner of the total pinfall for 14 available points. Why do we use points? Well, those determine your standings for the playoffs at the end of the season. So that's the whole goal here, is to try to accumulate points by winning games. And Andy was off to the side on that one, both balls, so he still has the 1-6 to shoot at. Try to clean up with a 10. And he'll take a nice 9 out of that for 23 through 3 boxes. All right, he's coming into box 4 here. No marks yet, but they're coming, I'm sure. And on the head pin in the pocket, the 1-3 pocket where you want to go to get a strike, and doesn't get a strike, but leaves himself a spare leave. The 5-8, there's a piece of wood way out there. I'd be curious to see if he goes for the wood. He is. Trying to get the cap of it, and it slides past that 8 pin somehow. I'm not sure how, but it did. And welcome viewers. I am sharing to my homepage too, so we can get some people from out of state to watch too. And that's a 9 for Andy. Andy is at 32 through 4, still looking for his first mark. Hey, Larry Wentworth, good to see you here. A loyal viewer and a participant. Andy on the head pin, a little full. Hoping that split breaks up. It doesn't. Now, interesting leave here. He's got to wait for the wood to settle. He's got wood to the left, 2 pins to the right. We'll see what he does. He's going to attempt the wood, but the ball breaks over to the 2. Maybe he was going for the 2. Jeff Littles, good to see you. And many thanks to Steve here, who brought me my iced coffee today. And can't get anything to hit, so a 7. So 5 boxes in. And Andy Ivanoskos is at 39. Now we get to see Steve Venezia. Steve is filled in for another bowler who had to drop out, so this is only his second match of the season. And when that happens, you inherit the record of the prior bowler and go from there. And Steve starts out with a hit on the 3-pin, leaves a 4-horseman plus a 9-10. A couple pieces of wood down there may be helpful to get some action going. Nick Branzi, good to see you. And he's on it. Look at that. Is that going to take it? Everything but the 10. Beautiful attempt. He put that ball on right into 1-2 to take that 4-horseman out. Nice. Carried something over. Didn't go. And he starts with a clean 10. So 10 box in the first for Steve Venezia and hi Sarah Jane Johnson. All right, box 2 for Steve. All over the head pin in the first strike of the match. That was a hammer. He dropped that down at 32.7 miles an hour. And that's the first mark and the first strike of the match, and that was a no-doubter. Watch out, pins. Steve is on. All right, on the fill, first ball hits the 3-pin, leaves 6 up. Going for the second ball in the fill. Look at this. All but the 7-pin, so a 9 fill for 29 through 2. Almost had to spare. Going for the single pin, and no doubt another 10, 39 through 3. Steve's off to a good start here. And while I'm at it, I'm going to try to find the stats sheet. Box 4. That one got away, and we have a channel ball. Or as we're not allowed to call it, a gutter ball. I just did. How do you like that? Here we go. Going for, oh boy. Okay. Time to settle down. We've all done that sometimes. Try to get that one down the middle, get what you can, and go to the next. And that's what he does. A nice adjustment. And it's an 8. And it doesn't look any different from any other 8-box that you might see. He's at 47 through 4. Hey, Kevin Dietrich. All right, he's coming into box 5. He's got the lead right now. That first ball is in on a head pin, a little bit full. Seven, 8, 6, and 10. Yeah, you know me. I never go in order. Can you get any more to go? No spare on that one. Got some side-to-side action. That's what you want to see. Doesn't always work, though. And doing the Moncton curling shot there, getting the ball going back and forth, and that 9-box gives Steve a healthy 56.5 to start. So Andy looking to play some catch up here. He's at 39 through 5. We're in game 1, and this is box 6. Andy, nice ball in the pocket, and are you kidding me? He threw a ball that went left to right into the 1-3 pocket and gives him the 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. That's not fair. He's gone for the wood on the 5 and just hits 2. It was a good call. Gerard, Kendrick, hey buddies. Good to see both of you guys. Hope to see you in person again. I haven't been down to the lanes too much lately. And a healthy 9 there for 48 through 6. Still looking for his first mark. He's got 3 out of 6 head pins. All right, box 7 for Andy. Over on that right triangle. Still a very makeable spare. Lord knows I've done it plenty of times. I got good at this one when I was bowling. He's got the double line, 4 horsemen plus the 3, 5, 8. And he's in there. Got most of them down. Still has 3. 2, 4, and 8 are still up. He's got a good snowplow in front of us. Should take if he can catch the center, at the red line. And ball hooked over, so a 7 box, 55 through 7. All right, he's in crunch time on this game. And I am just looking for the average sheets, and I can't find them right now. All right, so... Okay, touches a head pin there on the 2 and the head pin. 3, 7, 9. Steve, what's your average? Okay. Okay, no spare there. So coming into last week's match that we did at Ryan's in Buzzards Bay, Andy was running an 84 average. I don't know if that changed a little. He did bowl above his average, so it might have. But for sake of discussion, we'll say it's an 84. Steve's running with a 95. And Andy with an 8 box. 63. Just getting the morning jitters off. He'll start catching some marks here. That's a good ball. A little too good. Spread eagle minus the 2 pin. Mike Nardone. Why aren't you down here on the mic causing trouble? Okay, caught the 10 pin. It's a couple more. So an 8 box for box 9. And Andy is still markless and at 71. Okay, nice ball. Solid head pin hit. Brett fall down 7. Okay, couldn't get a strike on that one, but 1 pin to go at. Hoping for his first mark here. Even if you don't win that first string, it's still important to do as well as you can because of total. He's in there and gets his first mark clean. Doesn't touch the wood, and that'll be a good confidence booster going into game 2. And that was very precise shot, getting around that wood, not taking a chance. And here he is on his fill ball. He's at 81 plus this ball. He's got it down the middle. On the head pin again. And 6 in the fill. So Andy closes out game 1 with an 87 game. And that one's in the books. All right, now Steve Enzio is coming up. Venezia. And he's at 56. We're going to go to lane 22. These 2 lanes have had a lot of great action. This is where the Friday Night Pro Tour bowls. I bowl here a lot when I bowled. I've had some big games on these lanes. I've had some bad ones. And this is where Pete Crawford put up his 227 game last year. And Steve starts out with everything but the 1-5. And he goes wide. So he's still got the lead. And that's an 8 box. He's at 64 through 6. And I shared this to my personal page. Hopefully I can gather some of my friends who are scattered around the world. There's some other people watching Candlepin Bowling, and if she's up, hopefully somebody special to me will be watching too. She often sneaks in and catches a view or two. All right, first ball off the head pin, leaves a 1-2-4, misses to the left. Our viewership's pretty good for a Sunday morning. Usually on a live show we don't have a ton of viewers, but on the recordings we get a lot. So last week, the game between Andy and Al Blanchard, we were averaging 15, 20 people at any given time. But the last time I checked the recording, it was between 1,500 to 2,000. So not bad. 73 through 7, and he just needs 14 pins to tie in 3 boxes. 3-pin hit, doesn't get the half Worcester. Chris Jones, hello. Brian Pratt. All right, he's got a mess there, and he didn't want to do that. So his first ball was on the 3 and took out a little bit more than a half Worcester. And then that second ball just clipped the 2-pin, leaves the 5 up there, including the head pin. And he takes the left 2 for a 7 box. 80 through 8. Needs 8 pins to win in 2 boxes. All right, box 9, game 1. Early in this match. Steve Enzio on his first ball. He's got another strike. No doubter. That'll put it away for the game. Mark Oram, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very much. I try to do as many as I can. I don't do as many as others, but I like to be here. I love doing it. I miss bowling, but at least I can do this, right? So that strike was in the 1-2 pocket, and he's going for a double, and he's got the double. Watch out. Steve Enzio, or Venezia, new bowler to the ACST, just in his second match, and he's making some noise. Watch this guy. Double strike in his first game and a strike in his second box too. Going for the triple. He's in there. Nice hit. Left a diamond, so the first fill is 16, and that puts him at 106 through 9. He's got the diamond here for a spare attempt. Beautifully done. He's in there. Gets 2, so 8 and a fill. And that's a 124 game. What a start for Steve Venezia. So 124 to 87 in the books. 2 points for Steve. And an early healthy lead of 37 pins. Frank Morrow from Schenectady. Another New Yorker. I'm from upstate New York myself. I grew up in a small town of Bainbridge, which is just north of Binghamton. So that's why I put it up on my homepage, so that my friends from New York and my college friends from Indiana, Ohio, Michigan can all see this. We're starting game 2 now. And Andy starts off with a hit on the 2. Didn't get a punch out. Daryl Goodwin, my old friend. Love to see you sometime. And Andy overadjusts a little, catches some wood. Okay, 4 more left. And that would be a 7 box. So 7 in the first for game 2 for Andy. He's playing from behind, but you never know. It's very early in the match, way too soon to call it. Steve with a decisive first string win. And now the Iceman, as he's called, carefully adjusting, and is on the 6-pin. But the deliberation on that was great. Andy's had some trouble with rushing his ball. He's really conscious of that, and he's working hard to focus better. And look at this. Just off the head pin. A little too much break. But at release, it'll look good. All right. Oh, yeah. And that'll be an 8 box. 15 through 2. Andy had 1 mark in his last game. He hit the head pin 5 times. 2 were splits. And he's now in box 3. Still searching for that elusive head pin. Hit the 2, leaves 6 up there. 4 down, 6 up. Going for the spare. He needs to get that 1-2 somewhere, and he went to the other side of it. That might work, but it didn't this time. So we're doing this initially on Facebook. These videos are posted to the Candlepin Bowling Network. Free to subscribe, and we appreciate that. We're trying to raise the visibility of this traditional New England sport, which I think is the best form of bowling there is. It's a lot of fun. It's challenging, and I'd love to see it spread. There are lanes in Ohio and New York, but for the most part, Candlepin is in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, and the maritime provinces of Canada. Head pin hit. Nice bid for Andy on that one. That was where he wanted to be. And waiting on the wood to settle. Sells a 7, 9, 10. Even get a couple. He's going to play that wood. Give it a shot. Just takes out the 7. Not a bad call. 8 bucks. 29 through 4. This is Andy's first year in the ACST. He bowls out of Timber Lanes. And that was a hit on the 2. Leaves the 1, 2, 4 or 7, 8, not 10. So it's makeable, but you got to have a good shot here. He's got to get in that 1, 2. He's going there. Just a bit full on the head pin, so not enough to carry the back or the side. So he'll be open for 5. Still trying to figure out this side. Bowlers in Millis have a love-hate relationship with these lanes. 7, 36 through 5. Some bowlers absolutely hate bowling on 21 and 22. For me, it's been up and down. I've been had some really excellent games on here, 140s, 150s on these 2 lanes. But I've also had times when I come in here and it's just like, how does this work? I know Justin Waters is not a fan of these 2 lanes. Steve Carden, be nice to see you sometime. All right, starting game 2 is Steve Venezia. Venezia. Let me get it right. I'm trying. It's my first time meeting him. Venezia. Okay. Clip the 10 pin. He's in that pocket that time and drops the rest except for the 5 and the 6. So it starts with an open box. And that's a 9. Now keep in mind, his last game he put up a 124 with a double strike in the 9th and 10th, and a strike in the 2nd. Pinned really well all the rest of the way, including when he had 1 box just go completely south on him and put the first ball in the right gutter, the second ball in the left gutter, and still got a 7 out of it. Look at this. Is this going to be his 4th strike? Almost. Just the kingpin standing at 5. Yeah, and Larry is one that does not like these lanes. However, these are the lanes that hold the house record. So go figure. There are like 2 lanes that I really don't like, and that's a 9 box for Steve. And the first, I think, is almost a universal hate for bowlers here is lane 1. Lane 1 in this house. If you can look to, if you're not familiar with Ryan's and Millis, if you look to your right here, you see those beams hanging over. Well, on lane 1, they're right up next to the channel, and so I'm a right-handed bowler, and my hand comes out when I bowl, and I'm always distracted by those, so it messes me up. Oh, that's a nice 7 drop. He's got some wood to work with here. Could he get it? And he's got the spare. First spare of the second game for Steve. The other lane I hate is, let me see if I can see how this 18, 20, 17, 18, 15, 16, 13, and 14. All right, just 4 in the fill. 32 through 3. Reason I don't like 13 and 14, so, you know, all of our league stats are published on a piece of software that the lanes uses, and there is some ability to take a deep dive into the stats on that, and I've done that, and you can go in. If any of the league bowlers listening, you haven't done this, it's kind of interesting. You can go in there and see which game is your best, which game is your worst, what lanes you do well on, what lanes you do poorly on. For me, it was 13. For whatever reason, my average on that was like 6 or 7 pins less than anywhere else. 7-10 split for the lead, an 8 box, and Steve's at 40 through 4. That picked up later on, but at the time, I think my best were 15 and 16. But for whatever reason, 13 was my nemesis. I don't think there's really any difference. And then once I knew it, it got in my head. Steve off to the left on a 4-pin takes out just 4. And Joe Morin, nice to see you here. Okay, 4 horsemen plus the 2-5. Dang. Right in the pocket, leaves that 2-pin up. Nice bid. Just one of those things. Sometimes 1 pin doesn't get caught up in the chaos down there. And he'll take a 10. So Steve sits down with 50 at the halfway point of game 2. It's 50 to 36 in favor of Steve Venezia, I'll get it. And he, of course, has a 37-pin lead after game 1. Andy the Iceman. Good ball. Nice ball for him. Leaves himself a nice spare leave, the 6-10. Favorable wood, I think. Been known to be wrong. And he's got it. Spare in the 6 for Andy. He's coming back here. And he's a fairly fast-paced bowler. Somebody was joking with me the other day, oh, you got Andy, it's only going to be a half-hour match. He slowed it down today, which I think is good. 6 in the fill. Head pin hit. Puts up a 2-2 split, so it was a 6 fill. He is now at 52 through 6. Trying for the spare. He's going to try to sweep that wood over. Good idea. They're still falling. And the 9-pin stays up, so a great effort there by Andy. And the 8-pin was wiggling, but not enough to fall. And that's a 10. That puts Andy at 62 through 7. Still under par, but he's chipping away at that. Sean Pine. Okay, Andy coming up into box 8. He's at 62 through 7. Is he going to find the head pin? He's going to be off. He's on the 3, but leaves a cluster in the middle. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, or 5, 8, 9. So just no wood to help. Just put it in the 1, 2 and hope it goes. He's going there. Little full. He's going to get a late action here. He's going to tap that 5-pin with a piece of wood, but not enough to take it over. So pinning is good here. And that's an 8. So Andy's at 70 through 8. Playing catch up still. Really would like to put up a couple good marks to close this one out. And the first ball in box 9 of game 2 coming up. Hope you can see the scoreboard. And that's a lemon drop. Watch out, Paul Grant's going to be coming to visit. Looking for his $5 contribution to Candlepins for Cancer. Great charity. I encourage contributions to that. And almost lemon drop the other side. So now he's got a big bunch in the center. plus a 7 pin. We want to throw a strike ball at this. Get that head pin. See what you can make happen. Get out of this box. That's what he's doing. Head pin hit, and he gets the 10. Nothing to complain about that. That's how you do that. Hardest thing sometimes is when you've had a couple of bad first balls, that third ball is so critical, and you got to keep your head in the game, and Andy did a great job of that. Box 10, just off the head pin, leaves what we call the Caleri. A bowler named Bob Caleri. Used to bowl in the league with him in Natick. He used to get this leave a lot, and he used to pick it up a lot, too, so it became called the Caleri. Andiana just almost gets it. The 10 doesn't carry. He's put up a couple of good bids here that just left 1 pin. And that'll be a 9 box. So better than his last game, an 89, 1 mark. He's fighting hard. First year in the ACST is always challenging for everybody. And you just keep plugging, just keep swimming. That's what you do. All right, Steve is at 50 at the halfway point of game 2, and he comes up for game 6. The box 6, and he drops 7, leaves a triangle. That's a nice head pin hit. 247, very makeable. And no problem. He did it the way you want to. You got to start by the 2 and kick that over, and that's a spare for Steve Venezia. So he matches Andy's spare in the 6, so he's a 60 plus this ball. Great action, 34-mile-an-hour ball, and he puts 5 in the fill for 65 in the 6th box. Nicely done. Going for another spare and goes wide to the left. So an open box here. Still has a 1, 2, 4, 8, 9. And they're all gone. That was there. And he knows it. He could have had a spare there. He's at 75 through 7, a 13-pin lead in this game in the completed boxes. Box 8, he starts off. Nice head pin hit. Looked like a lot like his strike ball, but this time he left a 5, 7, 9. And went for the 10 pin again, it looks like, but that one was already gone. Trying to clean it up, and he'll have to take a 7. Went through the hole. 82 through 8. And he's in good position to pick up another couple of points. First ball on the 3 pin. Takes out the half Worcester, but gets a bonus of a 5 pin as well. And just a 7. So see if he can do what Andy did, where he had that first 2 bad balls and then came out with a 10 out of it. And Steve will have to settle for a 6. He's at 88. He needs 1 pin to tie and 2 to win in box 10. So pretty much got this game unless he throws 3 gutter balls. And he doesn't do that. 7 on the first. He's got the game. And a 7, 8, 10 split. And a couple different alternatives for wood here. You got some angled wood by the 10. Got flat wood by the 8. He takes that one out of the channel. That will not count. So we're going to take away that pin. friends of mine who are watching this who haven't seen Candlepin before but are interested in the curiosity of what Dan Castle does these days. One of the rules of our game is a ball out of the gutter doesn't count, but that 7-10 split sure does, and that's a 9-ball box, and that's a 97 game. Well under his 124 before, but more than enough to win this one. So 2 more points for Steve. And I'll get you totals in a second. That was a 97-89 victory. Andy's off to the races already. And I'll add the numbers up here. Okay, so after 2 games in terms of total, remember total is important because the bowler who has the highest total score of 5 games takes 4 points. And it's 221 to 176 in favor of Steve Venezia. Venezia. I'm getting it, Steve. I'm getting your name. I'm working on it. Venezia. It comes out Venezio to me all the time, but I'm trying. Yeah. All right. 6 box to start game 3 for Andy, the Iceman, Ivanoskos. And he's got the lemon drop right. Oh boy, I hope Paul's not watching. Throw the strike ball. Okay, light hit in the 1-3 pocket, but that's a good idea. Big piece of wood there. My guess, hit the red line, you get a bunch of pins. May not get a 10, but you should get a bunch. He is right on that red line, and he gets a 9 box. I was right. Doesn't happen often, but it happens occasionally. $15 through 2. Andy's in the left pocket, that's where he wants to be. He's got the 5. Broke up the split. Nothing wrong with that. And nice 10 box. 10 for Andy. And Joe Moran, I do remain neutral in these games, but I agree with you 100%. And he's working on it. I can see him slowing down quite a bit from the last time I covered him. But new to this league, and this is different from bowling in the regular leagues. You know, you're up there all alone, and it's a little pressure cooker. So Andy to the left, then to the right. Nick Blundo. Okay, Andy trying to get a 10 out of this. He still has 6 pins up there. And that time he placed it pretty well. And there goes the head pin for a 10. 35 through 4. Did I miss a spare?
He had a spare in the 3rd box.
Did he? I saw that as a 10. I'm sorry. It was a spare?
Not that one. That was spare.
Box 3.
Box 3 was spare, yeah.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. I called it a 10. So Andy had a spare in the 3rd, and I'm sure everybody there saw it. But for some reason I missed it. I thought it was the 3rd ball. It was a spare 4. So whatever I have, he's 4 pins higher. So 29 in the 3rd, 39 in the 4th, and he was on a 6 pin on that ball. So much better than his last first ones. Okay, just a head pin left on the 5th box for a 10. Try to cook it over and doesn't go, so an 8. And Andy comes up with a 48 half. And much improved over the last 2 first halves, so 48 through 5. So Andy's coming back here. Oh, nice to meet you, Joe. I was doing ACST for years myself until my injury. Hopefully I'll come back someday. Might be a year or two, but we'll see. All right, head pin hit to start the game for Steve. And a split, picks off the back two. Hope you're enjoying my commentary. And that's an 8. And I try to keep it exciting without going over the top. My philosophy being the show is the bowlers, not the announcer. So that's my intentional being a little lower key. All right, lemon drop for Steve. Just the 4-pin. Good correction, but not enough. Punches out the 2-8. So still has a whole half rack on the right and it's 7-pin on the left. And he gets out of that with a 9. Nicely done. 17 through 2. Good luck with that, Joe. That'll be in my future someday, but right now it's deciding what spinal surgeries to have. So, to be seen near future. To be determined. All right, another channel ball. So Steve's been bowling pretty well, but he has had a little bit of bad luck with throwing the pin off a bit much. And he did it that time, another channel. And there you go. That's a 9 box. Nothing wrong with that. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. I know some of you guys miss me because I'm an easy few points to pick up. But not always. I will be back someday, but I can do this now. And I'll come visit the leagues and stuff. Ball on the 4-pin. Four Horsemen plus the 4-5. He's in there and does. I think he was a tiny bit full on the head pin, just enough so the 10-pin didn't go out. So no spare for Steve on this one. 10-pin stands alone and doesn't get it. So another 9. So an 8 and 3 9s for Steve. That adds up to 35. And in this game right now, Andy has a 4-pin lead in completed boxes. One thing I have to remember is bring a pillow when I do these things, because some of these chairs are brutal on my lower back. All right, box 5. Here he comes. That's a head pin hit. Almost his 4th strike, but not quite. Just a 5-pin up. Waiting on the wood to settle. And he picks it up. Spare in the 5th. Good way to set down. We got a barn burner here on this 3rd game. He's at 45 and a ball. And Andy comes up at 48. And we are now halfway through the match. And starting our second half is Andy Ivanoskos. Starting box 6 of game 3. Look at that ball. Right in the pocket. Deserved better than that. A diamond and a 10. It can be made. It's not easy. You got to be right about in there, and he just missed the object. So he had the right idea. And that'll be a 7. He's at 55 through 6. So he threw a really good first ball, but wasn't enough to carry everything. And he's in box 7. 1 mark only in the string. On the 3-pin, and there's another Colery. 1, 2, 4, 7, and 8, and 9. I'm sorry. And that wood's lined up nice behind the 1, 2 to help carry the 9. If he can catch that 1, 2, he's got a good shot. Hopefully not deflecting around. And he caps the wood and takes out just the 2. So, nice try. But there's no guarantee on that. That wood looks like it's beautifully lined up when it's like that. But sometimes it acts to deflect the ball to the left. And you might miss the 4 pin or something. So, no guarantees. And he catches that 9 for a 7 box, 2 in a row, 62 through 7. All right, trying to get it going here. Good ball. Yeah, in the pocket. Takes out that 8, 9 pin and still has just the 5. He was hoping that would be a strike. It sure looked like one. But just one to shoot at. All you got to do is touch it. And he's got it. Right in the face for a spare for Andy. And box 8. And he's now at 72 plus a ball. He's got a good chance to go over par for the first time with an 8 fill. Another ball that's in there and just off the head pin. So 5 in the fill. 77 through 8. And a 4 horseman plus the 7 pin for the spare attempt. Put it in the 1-3. He's got a shot. That's a 1. 6 falls. And the 10th refuses to play and stays up. So trying to close out box 9 with a 10. No problem. 10 box for Andy. 87 through 9. Needs a spare for his first 100. Definitely an improvement over his first 2 strings. And here he comes in box 10. All right, he's off the head pin. But leaves the 1, 5 and it's 3. So a very makeable spare. Got to be on that head pin. He's got a shot. He's on it, and it's spare in the 10th for Andy. That's 3 marks in this string. All right, now he wants a 4 fill or better to be over 100. Of course, he wants more than that, but that's a benchmark to get to. And remember, Andy's an 84 bowler. He plucks out 1, so that's all right. A 98 string. And a big improvement. And that's a 274 triple by Mike Math. Will it be enough? Let's find out. Here comes Steve. He is on a fill. He's at 45 and a ball. And this will determine if he needs to mark. All right, that's not bad. Off the head pin, but 7 in the fill. And that's 52 half. And that keeps him from being required to mark in the second half. But he does anyway. So spare in the 6th. He's back in the driver's seat. And at 62 plus a ball in the 7th. Glad to see all of you guys here. I love the comments. Of course, those who watch the videos later sometimes wonder who I'm talking to. So, viewers in the chat box. We have our own parties here when we're doing this. Steve puts 3 in the fill, 65 through 6. A lot of pins to get. And he punches through, and now he's got the 1, 4, 6, 7, 10 split. It's nice and symmetrical. As I've said before, anytime you see something symmetrical in your leaf, it's probably going to be tough to get. And he gets a couple for a 7 box. 72, and he's got a 10-pin lead in completed boxes through box 7. Both bowlers are in their rookie year in the ACST. Glad to have him join us. Steve a fill-in for a bowler that was injured and couldn't continue. And he'll finish the season. First ball is to the right, 4 horsemen plus the 3-5. All right, and leaves the 1-3. And that's an 8 box. He's at 80. Right on par. 80 through 8, and it's a 3-pin game right now. He doesn't need to mark to win, but he's got to be on the game. He has no margin for error here. 7 box in here will really cause a problem. So that's the right triangle, 6, 9, 10. That's makeable if you hit the 1-2 pocket. Believe me, I got lots of practice on this. Misses it. Does not want a 6 box here, or that'll force a mark. Looking at the 1-3-4-7 split. Gets 2 of them, so that's good. That puts him at 88. He's up a pin. In completed boxes. So he needs a 10 to tie, and he needs a spare to win now. Or this will be Andy's game. So we're right down to the last box on game 3. Anything less than a 10, and it's Andy's game. And look at this. 9 drop, almost put it to bed there. And he's got the 2 pins standing alone. He misses this, it'll be at best a tie. He misses this, Andy will get some points. Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 2? Steve needs this for a tie. If he doesn't hit this, the game will go to Andy. And it does. That's a 9 box, 98 to 97. That was a nail-biter finish. Andy Ivanoskos gets his first 2 points, and he's on the board right down to the wire. Andy, you want to be in the other lane? And let me total this up. So Steve has still a very healthy lead in total with 318 to 274.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a fun one. Went down. I could have gone either way, and it was down to that 1 pin. And as a longtime bowler myself, when I do that, I'm sitting in the back kicking myself. But you know what? And Andy deserved that one. He really came back.
If you want to clear it, you can just reset your ball.
That's the right way to do it. So we're clearing out a piece of wood in the channel. And again, for my friends who watch this who aren't candlepin bowlers, and it's probably true in 10-pin too. I haven't done that in years, but you really can't bowl your box with. You need to remove the frame. Red key. There you go. If there's a pin in the channel or the gutter, as some people call it, you can't throw the ball. It's got to be a clean rack down there. No wood, no nothing on the deck. So we're starting game 4. Andy is off to the 10-pin. Just picks that one up. Let that one get away from him. He had a little twist on his release, and that threw the ball to the 10. Now he wants to straighten it out and clean the rack up. Okay, a little too much of an adjustment, and he's going to start out with a disappointing 3 box. But you know what my philosophy is? If I'm going to have a 3 box, I'd rather have it in box 1, because I can make up for it. Box 2 comes up for Andy, game 4, and that's a good adjustment on the head pin in a 1-3 pocket, and he leaves the 5-10, or what some of us call the 5 and dime, or the Woolworth. Those of us old enough to remember the Woolworth stores, which I do. Used to go to Woolworths in Sydney, New York, and there's a spare for Andy Ivanoskos, a 5-10. Nicely done. Played that wood perfectly. Waiting on a reset. And Andy's already in position to go. He doesn't mess around. And that's a 3, Phil. 16 through 2. I was talking to Andy last week. Ivanoskos, his name starts with Ivan. That's the name of my husky, is Ivan. Or Knucklehead, which he also answers to. And he has a middle name. It's Alexander. So if you ever watch my Facebook page from time to time, you'll see pictures and the exploits of Ivan and Zoe, my 2 huskies. Or Zoe's actually a husky mix with a German Shepherd half. 7 box, 23 through 3. Ivan yesterday learned how to open doors. Opened the front door and got out. And a punch out. Or what we call a half Worcester. Halfway to Worcester. A lot of colorful terms in this game of ours. Very regional. And that's part of the beauty of this. This is part of living in New England. Very colorful region. I've lived in 5 different states in my lifetime. I love living up here. I love the color of the people. And by that I'm talking about the culture, the expressionists that are unique to the area. It took me a while to learn the language, but I did. 9 box, he's a 32 through 4. And again a lemon drop, right? Just a 6th pin. Yeah, when I first moved here, I couldn't understand people very well. Coming from the Midwest, even though I grew up in New York, but spent about a decade living in the Midwest. And I come here, and I was married to a Massachusetts girl, and she had worked hard to get rid of her accent, so she didn't really have a New England accent. But what's curious about this is all 3 of my children have been raised here. None of them have a Massachusetts accent. All right, that's a 6 box. A 38 half for Andy with a spare. So not really what he wanted. Is anybody still there? Say hello, please. Or I may go off track again. I do share this, like I said, to my own homepage because I like some of my friends and family to see this game who aren't accustomed to it in their area. So that is an interesting situation. It's not really a head pin hit, but pin came back and took out the head pin and left the 4-7-10 split. Lots of wood down there. Can he get it? Got the 10. And we get great viewership and interest, even in the ACST split into multiple divisions. We look at the roster for the year, North and South, and basically split it into groups of 18 purely by average, A, B, C, and D. And some years an E division if there's a lot of bowlers. This year a little lighter. Half Worcester right. A division generally filled by some of the top bowlers in the region. And they're fun to watch, but we get a lot of fun matches in the D, C divisions as well. May not be 160 games regularly, but these are some solid bowlers you might see in a regular league. New bowlers coming up who are going to make a mark as they grow in the game. 8 box, 18 through 2. And with the availability of streaming now, we have much more bandwidth to broadcast a lot more than we could, say, on cable access or on regional networks. So it's a little different than it was 25 years ago, where all you saw was the elite bowlers bowling. Now you can pick and choose. We have a library. If all you want to see is the top 10 bowlers, you can do that. But if you'd like to see some others or family members or friends and see how they're doing, they're up here too. Look at this. Good bid on that spare. but it didn't carry. A little too full, just a tiny bit. No margin for error. 6, 7, 10 for a 10. Look at that, nice 10 box. 28 through 3, and he's up 5 at the moment. He's got 4 points to Andy's 2. And a healthy lead. I can't do the math and talk at the same time, but here we go. Okay, he bounced that one down to the 10 pin. Lanes are filling up. We have a lot of bowlers here on a Sunday morning. And off to the right. This being a very heavily Catholic area, a lot of people go to Mass and then go to bowling, I think. Okay, 6 box. It's a 2-pin game in completed boxes here. 34 to 32. Okay, way off to the left on the 4-pin. Takes out that left triangle. Now we see the 2 lines of pins, 4 and 5, or 3 and 4, I'm sorry, on the right side. Hit the 1-3 pocket to make this shot. And he's off to the side. Now he has 5 in the middle, cluster of 5. This needs a strike ball. And that's a 5 box. So Steve let that one get a little bit away from him. And it's 39 to 38 at the halfway point. A low scoring game so far, but only a 1-pinner. Last game was a 1-pin finish. Steve Ivanoskos coming up for box 6 on lane 22. He misses a head pin. Leaves the Caleri right. We haven't seen a castle. There is a leave that some of us call a castle, and if it comes up, I'll tell you about it. Some of you guys who are already bowlers are probably sick of hearing about it. I don't care. And that's plucking out of the 6-pin only, leaving the 1-3, 8-10. In the 6 box, 2 in a row, 44. Through 6, he put up a 6 box in the 5th, which put him at 38. Let's zoom a little bit in. See if I can get my zoomer to work, and it's not working, but that's okay. Maybe you need a battery. Andy's off to the right, and leaves the left side plus a 10, and out in the channel. Does not want to do that. Okay, 2 6 boxes. That hurts your cause. He wants to not do that again. Trying to get a bunch. Oh boy. And that is a 3 box. Okay. We all do it. It happens to everybody. It's time to just regroup, take a breath. Focus on getting that ball down the middle. It's on the 2-pin. Takes out 4. You guys got quiet in the comments. Makes me think you're not hearing me. Okay, goes to the right, picks up a few more. He's got 4 left. Doesn't want to get a 6 or less. He's going to the left side, getting 2, and that's a good safety shot. So an 8 box, didn't want to take a chance on just getting 1, and that puts him at 55. So definitely underwater on this one. 54, I'm sorry, 46, 46. I thought you had a 3 box in a 7th. Hey, we have a scoring error up there. Don't like to interrupt the game when that happens, but that's time I get to. So it is 47 and 55. Okay. And just use the arrow to move the cursor back. There you know how to do this. So my score is actually not official. So I'm keeping my own. I keep score by hand here. And that helps me track head pins and splits. Gives me something to do besides babble. And Andy goes to the right and still has 5 up. And I give the score sheet to the bowlers, and they can use it if they want to give to Micah for statistics purposes. And that's a 10. Nice 10 by Andy. Got out of that. He's a 65 through 9. If there was a good time, better time for a strike, it's not. It's right here is where he needs to get something like that going. Hasn't had one yet, but he might get one here. Put it in the pocket, and that is the castle. The right-handed castle. 5, 6, 10. Wood there that might help, and it usually doesn't. And there you go. Bob Lee called it that because it resembled a chess move, and somebody else said, you know, Castle gets that a lot too. So, whatever it is. If I'm going to have a legacy in Candlepin, maybe that'll be it. I can just see a generation of bowlers getting that leave and go, damn it, Castle. And I'm okay with that. Okay. Here comes Steve. He's at 39 at the half. He has to get to 75 to win this string. It's very doable. And first ball is on the 3 pin, leaves a 4 horseman plus a 10. And just picks up the 10. And a good out on that one. Gets the 9 for 48. Now puts him in the lead. 48 through 6. We've got a pitcher's duel going on here. First ball. Again, finds that 10 pin. But his recoveries on those have been excellent. For a lot of bowlers, the D division is a developmental league where we get to see a lot of up-and-coming bowlers like these guys who might well be the future of the game. And that was a great ball for Steve. Solid hit, but the 6 pin survived, so no spare. And that's a 9. He comments that was a strike ball, and I agree. So it's 57 to 47 in completed boxes right now. He's got a 10-pin lead. He's in definitely a driver's seat here, but mistakes happen. He's got a powerful first ball. Both these guys are throwing decent. That's 34 miles an hour. Missed the head pin, leaves the 1, 3, 9, 10. Is he going to get it? And he gets the 10 to go for a spare in the 8th. And that's a 67 plus a ball through 8. So he can actually win this string with a big fill. The machine just gave him a strike before he threw a ball, so as much as I'd like to get a strike without... All right, you need a red key. So what you want to do is remove frame. Yeah, Andy, it's not a new score. It's remove frame. So remove frame. There you go. Okay. We are now on the fill. He's a 67 plus this ball. If he gets an 8 fill, the game's over. In that box. That's 7. That's enough to put the game away. 74 through 8, plus he's already got 7, so that's game. One more. Kendrick's back. And a 9. 83. 83 in box 9. He's going to add to his lead on total. And box 10 in game 4. Nice ball. Trying to break up that 9-10 split. And not bad. I'm going to call that a split, even though they're adjacent pins. 9-10 and really decent looking wood if he hits it low. And he misses it, so he'll be open in the 10th. That's another shot at it. And a 9 box, so game 4 is in the books. Steve Venezia wins 97 to 74 or 92, I'm sorry, wrote it wrong. 92 to 74, and solid in the lead for the total. Andy starts us off in game 5. Let me add up totals. Nico, good morning. Game 3 was a lot of fun here. Went down to the last ball and was a 1-pin game. And we are in game 5. $4.10 for Andy, or for Steve through 4. $3.48 through 4 for Andy. Almost got the spare there. And he has an 8 box. Just start our last game. Really needs a big one here to have a chance at total, but points are points. You can't always win the match, but you try to grab as many points as you can get. And he's off to the right on that one. Leaves the 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Hit the head pin. You got a shot. He's got it. And he's got the mark. That was textbook. And Andy showed us how to get that one. That's not the easiest in the world. Coming into box 2, Andy, the Iceman Ivanoskos, is on a fill at 18 plus this ball. Trying to put it down the center. Look at that, just off. Just went past the head pin, puts 3 in the fill. 21 through 2, he's over par. Nico, we're late in the match, but I hope my sound check is good. Nice try by Andy. Put it in the 1-2 pocket. Left the 4-7, but he put a valiant effort on that spare attempt. And that will be an 8 box. So 29 through 3 in game 5. So far in this match, Steve Venezia has 6 pin points to Andy Ivanoskos 2. And a healthy lead of 410 to 348 in total. Andy in the pocket. And leaves a split. That wood's way out there. I think it's still in play. And he's got the 2-7-8. He's got to use the wood, see if it can work. And it does. Nice spare. His second spare of this half. So spare in the 4th for Andy. He's trying to make a comeback here. He's chipping away, but it's a tough fight here. So box 5 on the fill. Here he comes. Ball hooked around. Did catch the 3-pin. That gives him some extra pins. And he puts 6-7 in the fill. Machine didn't catch it. I did. And so that puts him at 46 through 4. And this is a very makeable spare. It's the 1-2-7. He's got wood between the 2 and the 7 that could help him a lot here. Got to catch that head pin. Looks like he's in there. Just missed a head pin. Not by much. Couldn't have put a piece of paper between the ball and the pin. All right, so he'll be open, but he's over par with a healthy first half of this game. And that's a 9 for a 55 half for Andy. That's his best first half so far. And right now the goal being tried to pick up a couple more points. Total maybe out of reach, but a big second half might do it. But it's got to be a big one. Steve says, no, I'm taking total. And he's going to start game 5. First ball. On the head pin. We've seen that turn into a strike 3 times. That time it didn't. But look at the leave. It's a 6-10. 2 pieces of wood out there. I don't think either one of them looks all that bad. And it did. It deflected around. I was wrong. I thought that first piece of wood was going to be useful. But it stole the spare from him. And he's got to take a 9. Okay. That was an opportunity that didn't come through for him. Billy Shiner Sr. We're in the second box of the second bowler in game 5. And he is on the left pocket. Leaves the 3-7-10 split. See what we can do with this. Got the wood, just missed it. He's trying to play to the left side of that 3-pin, which is a good idea. But didn't make contact with it, so 3 more left. And that'll be an 8 box. 17 through 2. Down 4 pins and completed. And Steve punches out the half Worcester left, just a 2 and the 8. We all hate it when we do that, but it is a makeable spare if you put the ball in a 1-3, or a lot of us like to play the left side of the head pin on that. And he went way to the left of the head pin. So if that happens, then your next task is just to clean up as many as you can. So most of us will put the ball to the right of the head pin, maybe even to the 3-pin, and try to get pins. And he just picks up 1. So that was not what he meant to do. Get a 4 box. 21 through 3, and that's an 8-pin lead in completed boxes for Andy Ivanoskos in game 5. And now Steve's up against a 17 box, a spare 7 that Andy put up in box 4. Nice solid head pin hit. But sometimes you hit a little too solid, you get a split like this. This is the 2-4-6-10. 2 and 2. And his ball's getting away from him a little bit now. He's bouncing it in there, so rushing a little bit. He needs to slow it down. Does he go to the right and take an easy 8? That's what he's doing, and gets nothing. 6 box. 27 through 4, and that gives Andy a 19-pin lead. Chips away at total. Will it be enough? It's a lot closer than it was, but it's still a pretty big margin here. All right, box 5. Andy catches the 3-pin, still leaves the 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9 for a big cluster in the middle. Pat McCauley. All right, and now it's getting a little loose here. He still has 5 pins up. He's having a tough half. He's been bowling pretty well so far. He's got total in hand. Trying to make it a 12-2 win, but that's a 6 box. And a 33 half. So Andy now has a 23-pin lead after 5 boxes. He was down 62 in total after 4. I don't know how he comes back from that, but that's what Andy wanted to do, is put that ball down in the middle. It left a split, but it was a much better ball than some of the ones we've seen. Now he's going for the 3 side and found the hole. All right, trying to clean this up. Get an 8 or 9 if you can. And that's a 6. So Andy now is at 61 through 6. Healthy lead. He wants at least 4 points out of this match if he can get it. Getting the total is going to be a tall order. Needs to really mark out to do that right now. And that's a hit on a 10 pin. Just pluck the 10. All right, a little better ball, but cut to the 4 pin. 7 pins still up in this box. Needs to get on that head pin. And nothing, so that's a 3 box. Both bowlers showing some signs of fatigue right now in this match. The halves sometimes can get a little dicey. And he just takes out the 7 pin only. That's it. So it's got to throw a strike ball here. That's better. Not quite to the head pin. And now he's got 7 still up. I'll do this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, and 10. How do you like that? All right, trying to get an out here. And that'll be a 6. So the second half isn't going well, and I think it's safe to say total's out of reach for Andy at this point. I don't think there's any way in 2 boxes he can pick it up. Got to find that head pin. He threw a nice first half at 55, but that time he's on the 6 pin. All right, making a spare attempt on that. Nice try, but misses a head pin. So 3 more up. 1, 2, and 8. And that's a 7 box. So Andy is 77. 4 boxes. He's only netted 22 pins. He's leaving the door open for Steve to have a comeback in his string. Needs a big ball here. And I think he's running out of gas right now. That's just about the 3rd time he's just picked out the corner pin. So 7 pin only, a 9 pin leave. He's got to get that strike ball in. He hasn't had a strike in this match. And he will be open in box 10. So trying to clean it up. Can't get to 90, but that's a good out. Very good out for Andy. 86 game. Not what he wanted to do, but as good as it gets. And that's a 434 total. So total has already been decided. Steve's got total for sure. He's at 433, so he just needs 2 pins to take total. But can he win this game? He's got a mark. Even though Andy only put up a 87 game, Steve had a 33 half, and he starts off in the corner. He's going to need to get 54 pins to tie, 55 to win. That's a mark and no bad boxing. And right now he's only got 2 pins down in box 6. Both bowlers running out of gas in the 5th. That's where it gets interesting, and that's a 2 box. 35. So Steve started with a 124 game. but struggling right now in this 5th game. This is when you show what you're made of. If you can get back into this. Again, he's on the 10 pin. Somehow he's throwing the ball way to the right. It's just time to focus, take a breath, get it down the middle like that. And it's a split, but that's a much, much better ball. That's what he wanted to get there. Get some confidence back. He can hit the head pin. Once you get there, the rest is just getting the pinfall. So get the 3, forget the 4th one. And he'll take a 7, but you know what? A 7's way better than a 2. He's at 42 through 7. And again, he started with a 124 game. And then a pair of 97s and a 92. First ball on a head pin, and there's his strike. 5th. That's his 5th strike of this match by my count. 1, 2, or 4th strike. I'm sorry. It's 4th strike of this match. And that's the strike ball we saw from Steve in the first game where he put up 3 strikes, including a double. Going for a double. Maybe, but he's off to the right. Okay, so the first ball in the fill is 3. Wants to get a better fill than that to catch up. Bounced it in for 1 more, so a 4 fill and a strike. Closes box 8 at 56. Gets an 8, not a 9. Okay, 8 out of that. He's at 64. Okay, so we're in the last box of this match. He's at 64. Andy had an 86. Steve's going to need a double strike here. So I don't know if a spare will cut it because he's 74. No, he needs a double strike. So Andy's going to win game 5. And that's an ugly split. That's a 4-6. Doesn't go. One more ball in this match, which has been a fun match to cover with these guys. Steve Venezia and Andy Ivanoskos. 8 bucks. 72. Andy holds on to win game 5, 86-72. Fun match. And let's get the totals here. 483 and 4. So, for a recap, it is a 10-4 victory for Steve Venezia. Game 1 went to Steve 124-87. Game 2, 97-89. Game 3 went to Andy 98-97 in a nail biter. Game 4 went back to Steve 92-74, and Andy held on with that 86 game to win Game 5 86-72. In terms of total, Steve had it by a mile, 483-434. So not the highest scoring game we've ever seen, but a fun game and really good efforts by these guys. And with that, thanks for joining us this morning. We had a good amount of viewers and comments. Love to hear from all you guys. And from Ryan's Family Amusements in Millis, Massachusetts, this is Dan Castle, also on the Candlepin Bowling Network. And we will see you all on the lanes. Be in the live. Hopefully Nico.